All right, hello and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful frameworks for innovation out there, design thinking. So let's just dive right in.
You know what I'm talking about, right? That app on your phone that's just so easy to use, or that chair that feels like it was made just for you. Well, that feeling, it's not magic. It's not an accident. It's almost always the result of a very specific human-focused process. And that is exactly what we're going to explore. So, at its very core, design thinking is a method for tackling really complex problems. But the two words you've got to pay attention to here are nonlinear and iterative. This isn't some simple checklist you follow from A to Z. Oh no. It's a dynamic, messy, and super effective cycle of learning and refining. And this right here, this is the heart and soul of the whole thing. Every single step we're about to talk about starts and ends with real people. It's all about solving problems for humans, which means you first have to understand them on a deep, deep level. Okay, so how does this actually work in practice? Well, the most common way to look at it is through 5 essential stages. You can think of it like a roadmap, one that guides you from a fuzzy, vague problem all the way to a truly innovative solution. So here they are: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Now we're going to walk through each one, but I want you to remember the most important thing of all. This is not a one-way street. It's a loop. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Everything, and I mean everything, starts with empathy. This isn't about sitting in a conference room guessing what people want. It's about getting out there, watching people, talking to them, and really immersing yourself in their world to truly get a feel for their needs and, more importantly, their frustrations. Okay, so after all that listening and observing, you move into the define stage. And this is a really critical moment. You take all that messy, raw, human information and you boil it all down into one clear, actionable problem statement. This makes sure you're solving the right problem, not just the one you first thought of. Now that you have a crystal clear problem, it's time to ideate. This is the fun part. Think of it as brainstorming on steroids. The guardrails are totally off. The main goal here is to just go wide, generating a massive volume of ideas from the super practical to the totally out there and wild. And this is absolutely crucial. You have to shut down your inner critic. Seriously. In the ideate stage, there are no bad ideas. You're just exploring the entire universe of possibilities without any judgment. Because you never know, the best ideas often pop up from the fragments of the craziest ones. Now you get to take your most promising ideas and make them real. Well, kind of real. Real enough to test, anyway. A prototype is not a finished product. It can be as simple as a paper model, a few sketches, or a basic digital mock-up. The whole point is to learn as much as you can, as fast as you can, and as cheap as you can. And finally, we get to the test stage. This is the moment of truth. This is where your ideas have to face reality. You put your prototypes right into the hands of the people you're designing for, and you just watch, you listen. You learn what's working, what's not, and most importantly, you find out why. So, you've tested your prototype, you've got a ton of feedback, you're done, right? Mission accomplished? Not even close. This is actually where the real power of design thinking starts to show itself. Remember what I said? It's not a straight line, it's a loop. That feedback you got from testing might show you just need to tweak your prototype. Or it could reveal that you defined the problem all wrong, sending you all the way back to the define stage, or maybe even back to the empathize stage to learn more. This constant cycle is what turns good ideas into truly game-changing solutions. So that covers the how of the process, but let's talk about the why. I mean, why has this framework been snapped up by so many of the world's top organizations in everything from tech to healthcare and beyond? Well, it really comes down to 4 massive benefits. First, it seriously cuts down on the risk of building the wrong thing. Second, because it encourages those wild ideas, it creates an environment for real innovation, not just tiny improvements. It also, of course, leads to a much better user experience and, this one's huge, it's an incredible tool for getting teams to work together. Let's just zoom in on that risk part for a second. Think about the traditional way. You might spend months, maybe even years, building something only to find out it's a total flop when you launch it. Ouch. Design thinking completely flips that on its head. You fail small, you fail early, and you fail cheaply with your little prototypes, which lets you change course before you spend a ton of time and money. It also completely changes how teams work. You see, design thinking is a total team sport.
It's built to tear down those invisible walls that pop up between departments and get everyone, engineers, marketers, designers, all focused on the same human-centered problem. A really great solution has to hit this perfect sweet spot, right? You need a designer in the room asking, do people actually want this? You need an engineer to say, yeah, we can actually build this. And you absolutely need a business strategist to confirm, and this makes sense for our business. By getting all these different perspectives together from the very beginning, you see the problem from every angle that matters.
Okay, as we start to wrap this up, if there is just one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. The 5 stages are a fantastic roadmap, but the real magic of design thinking is the shift in mindset it creates. It's really about learning to be more curious, getting comfortable with not having all the answers right away, and keeping a relentless, passionate focus on the people you're trying to serve. At the end of the day, it's just a whole new way of thinking about how to solve problems.
Which leaves us with a final question for you to chew on. Think about it. Whether it's a big project at work, an issue in your community, or even just a personal challenge, what problem in your world could you solve differently if you just started with a little bit of empathy?